Welcome back. It is possible to work with the one you love, to be both partners in life and at the office, but there is an art to it.
Here to share their insight on doing just that are married entrepreneurs Gloria Roheim-McRae and Ricardo McRae. Welcome. Okay, so you guys met 4 years ago, and then a year and a half ago, you decided to get married and launch a business together at the same time. What made you do that?
What were we thinking?
Well, it all happened really fast. We met. A month later, we moved in together. A year later, we started subcontracting to each other.
Hot chemistry then.
Soon realized that it was working very well. We made way more money when we partnered, and then landed the largest contract of our history doing a movie in Trinidad, shooting a film.
So, quick hookup, chemistry, made lots of money, so rich. Wow.
Well, hello.
We can all learn
something. Obviously, there's a lot to learn.
Everybody's paying attention now.
What, I mean, you had to have had, if any, what concerns did you have about working together?
Oh my God, we had so many. So let's start with the fact that, you know, we didn't want to ruin the intimate chemistry that we had, right? Like, who wants to be with their business partner, right? Like, that's not hot. So we put in some rules. So we put in some sort of make time for sexy time kind of date nights, and made sure we kept everything fresh. Note to everybody.
Yeah.
And
like, what do you mean? It's scheduled into your device?
Listen,
so it's like Tuesdays at 5 we go?
Well, no, this is not a production, but it's like this. You have to reserve that first, because, you know, people will call, they'll want things. Clients will want things. Your family wants things. You got to do laundry, you got to do all that stuff. If you schedule all that, why not schedule intimate time?
As Lois always says.
I'm 100% on board this, yes.
So that was one, and then the other really important thing was our egos, right? Like, we're both strong, independent people. How could we collaborate and still be strong, independent people, right? That was an issue. But we worked it out, a couple of headbutts, and I think 3 years later, we got this under lock.
Okay, well, this I'm curious about, because my partner Jason and I, we both work in this business, and we've often talked about collaborating together, but we are very different personality types, and we often, sometimes my friends call us the Bickersons. So how did you work through those differences and make it gel?
Well, first of all, really appreciating that the difference is the reason it works, and really respecting the different styles, which is very important. I'm sort of the second mouse that gets the cheese. Gloria is the early bird that catches the worm, and they both work.
Okay, so but is there a power dynamic? Because somebody's ultimately got to be the boss, right?
So technically, we tend to actually... Yeah, you do. You need some, you know, you can't have 10 presidents. You got to have one. Okay. So same in our case, we had to decide, like, when we go in on a meeting, we have to know who's taking the lead here and who's not going to cut the other person off.
Right.
You know, same goes for a lot of things that are similar to that. So it's key. It's key to know.
So
that.
is it just, it's division, is it division of responsibility by skill set? Because my husband and I run a business together.
Yep.
I am not a good manager. I manage myself and that's it. So
you do a great job.
So he is the president, but I'm editorial, creative.
Right.
So is that sort of how it breaks down for you guys?
It's interesting because he's the creative on our team.
Okay.
And he's the sort of visual artist, literally fine artist, and I'm the strategic A-type crazy person.
Got it.
So there you go. And I think we know naturally when that fits and when that doesn't.
Okay.
And you just have to trust each other. There are times where I'm like, oh God, don't mess this up. Please don't mess this up because we're all going to lose.
Right.
I know, right? He's never heard of that before.
I think that's good, though, because I think that that's a challenge, too.
Yes.
Like, when you're challenging, you're like, don't mess it up. I mean,
it's true.
If you're not getting that internal challenge from the company, then, you know, who else is going to challenge you? Now, the assumption, though, for a lot of people is that work and life, personal life, have to be separate. I disagree with this. Because Jacek and I run our own company together, we think that work and life are all mixed together, and we're raising a child, which is our business. Do you agree with that or not?
Totally. We do not believe in work-life balance. It's a complete myth. And in the pursuit of it, you lose your, you lose yourself pursuing it. So we just decided after a lot of failed business books that we tried out that we should just integrate the whole thing. So we play together, we work together. When in the middle of the day we need a break because it's just necessary, mental health break, whatever we need, we take it. And if we are, if it's Saturday and we're feeling inspired, then we do that. So it's like raising children. I really think it's the same sort of thing. You can't plan that.
So you've talked about how you schedule time, even for intimacy, but in what other ways would you say that your relationship has maybe improved as a result of having to have this business together?
Really having a lot at stake, way more than just a relationship, like our financial future, our life, our kids, like everything is at stake in this. So when we argue, we have sort
Fast
of
forward,
a
make up.
zero tolerance for allowing that to go on. So it's like we resolve those things really quickly and sort of learned what are the cues, what should we do, and how we deal with that.
And we do fight.
Okay.
It does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. And when those things happen, or, you know, have you talked about, and I'm sure it's not going to be the case, but have you talked about what will happen to the business if personally you decide not to be together anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things that we talked about right up front. But we have divorce in both of our families. 50% of people are ending in divorce. So we bake that right into the way we set up our company, sort of a post-nup. If this was not to go well, this is what we're going to do and how we're going to exit.
Have you done this?
Yeah, Lainey.
No, so Jacek and I don't have a post-nap where everything is merged together.
Yeah.
We don't have an exit button. So your recommendation is so that it's as seamless as possible.
Talk about it now before anything bad happens. You're
Right.
both happy, everything's great. Let's go for dinner and discuss what happens if one of us loses our faculties.
Right.
So that you know what to do, so when that time comes, everybody's on the same page and nobody
Okay.
has to be upset.
I'll think about that.
Or
I
you
will
just
think about talking about that.
Lots of wine.
So let's go back to intimacy. And are you going to have kids? And how is that going to work?
Well, they're going to be young people working in the company. Gonna work with child
Right. I don't believe in child labor laws.
You know that Lainey likes that, right?
Yeah.
No, I think, actually, it's interesting. This year, last year, the big thing was we launched a book, and that was like our first child in paper form.
Yeah.
And then this year is really another building year, and next year the plan is to bring, baby number one into the field and work with us. We'll see how that goes. We'll come back and let you know.
So, right, and I love how everything is scheduled, though. Next year, baby number one on Saturdays at 5 is our baby making time. Yes.
So, Gloria, I understand that you're a big proponent of the man cave. How come?
Because I learned by example. I didn't quite have a respect for that. You know that man time, whether they play games or whether they just, they don't want to talk to you. You're asking questions, they can't hear you. It's like, what's going on there?
Right.
So I realized after a few really strong tiffs the first year that was the man cave, that you can't go there. It's sacred grounds. Just like we need spa days, the man cave is to men what the spa day is for women. Okay.
So you take your woman cave out.
Oh, I take my cave.
You take your cave. Okay, good.
It's just at the spa.
Does he ever, ask you to come into the man cave?
No, he doesn't want me there. No.
See, because I get asked into the man cave all the time. Watch me play this video game.
That is not a spectator sport.
It's safe to say we are all fangirls for you,
Yes.
too,
Thank
Gloria and Ricardo. Thank you so much for being here. And make sure to check out our website for these tips and more. And everyone in our studio audience is going home with a copy of Gloria's ebook, BYOB, The Unapologetic Guide to Being Your Own Boss.